Hello soul searchers, and welcome back to my channel where we use tarot to gain better insight into ourselves and the world around us. So as you can see from the title, today we are going to get a message from the algorithm. If you are familiar with my channel, then you know how this goes, but if you are new and you're used to traditional readers on YouTube, you are probably familiar with pick a card readings. This is a similar concept, except instead of picking your pile or your deck, you're basically going to get the same spread as everybody else. And the difference is in the interpretation. So the message does change, the cards do not. So yeah, that being said, let's just go ahead and connect with this tarot deck here to see what the message is from the algorithm. You can also use, what's the word? You can use this however you want to. If you want to use it as a message from the YouTube algorithm, the TikTok algorithm, Instagram, whatever algorithm you want a message from, feel free to use it that way. And this is a tarot deck that I created with AI before I understood the real world effects of using AI, how it affects the water supply and everything. So I really don't use AI anymore, but I had all of these images just saved up, so I decided to make my own deck in case anyone is curious. Okay, so first card is Temperance, and you will see why I have to label these on the back because, honey, this would not be a beginner deck at all. Alrighty, two more cards, please. What is the message from the algorithm? Okay, it's also hard to shuffle, obviously, because it's handmade. It's a little different. We're doing new things over here. This is the one that stayed in my hand, and it did come out reversed, which is interesting. Okay. I'm just going to ask really quick, is that Three of Wands supposed to be the last card? I don't like Seven of Pentacles. Can you clarify? Is that Three of Wands supposed to be the last card? You know what? I feel like it's a yes, only because I just noticed the Four of Cups and then Three of Wands. That adds up to 7, so I feel like it was a yes. Alrighty. Bottom of the deck, we have this guy. I think this is the King of Wands. Hold on, let me just shift stuff over. Perfect. Come this way, please. Alright. King of Wands, it is. And that's who we have on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to lift this up a little bit just so we can really see what's going on. And then we're going to flip these babies over. Temperance. Four of Cups reversed and Three of Wands reversed. What's really sticking out to me immediately is all of the yellow and blue in these cards. There are some cards that go a bit more white and silver. There are some cards that go more red and blue, but specifically with these cards, there's a lot of yellow and blue, which is calling me to the solar plexus and throat chakra. I am going to go ahead and read this part because I feel like this part is for everybody. Solar plexus and throat chakra, when they do come out, they do tend to come out together for me, and it makes sense because solar plexus is all about your willpower, your confidence, your self-esteem, and throat chakra is all about your truth and the way that you express that, not just verbally, but even in the way that you live. And so they do kind of piggyback off of each other, you know, like if you can't really have a strong throat chakra and be able to express your truth if you don't have that level of confidence and willpower and that sense of kind of not giving a care about what anybody else has to say about it. And then on the flip side of that, you can't have a strong solar plexus if you don't even know what your truth is. You know, if you're not even in touch with that, how can you be confident about a truth you don't know about? So they do tend to come out together very often for me. So interesting. 515 on the camera. All right, let's just go ahead and get 3 charms. I'm just gonna pick. All right, first charm, first pile. If this charm resonates, you are, is this a mermaid? That is a mermaid. For some reason, the word siren specifically just came to my brain, which is a little different from a mermaid. Okay, so pile 1, you are the mermaid / siren. Actually, I'm just call you Siren. That's gonna be significant for somebody. Interesting. Hold on. I have a few here in my hand, so I'm trying to. Okay, pile 2. Umbrella. You are an umbrella charm. And I did just get Rihanna in my head. Under my umbrella, ella, ella, eh, eh, eh. Interesting. That has green and white, so that's definitely talking about the heart chakra and also the crown chakra. Very interesting. All right, and then pile 3. Wow, that just dipped right on out. Okay. I cannot tell what letter this is. This font is hilarious to me. It is a little hard to make out. I'm gonna hold this up for you. This is one of my letter charms. It could be a J. It could also be an L. I'm going to flip it both ways, pile 3. Just so you can kind of see it both ways. This is definitely the top of it. So it's supposed to be this way, but I don't know if it's supposed to be this way or this way. So I see J, I see L, JBL just came to my brain. There's a lot of music references coming up, literally for every single charm. So that's interesting. Yeah, so I'm just leave this here for you guys. Those are the charms. I'm going to give you guys a second to meditate with the cards, meditate on the charms. Once you've chosen your specific pile, your specific story, feel free to go to the description box, click the timestamp for that charm, and it will take you right over to your specific message from the algorithm. So without further ado, I will give you a moment and I will see you at your reading. Editing Ari here. I just had to come on and add something else. I've noticed that whenever I'm editing videos, I end up getting messages for each group. So if none of the charms call out to you, check the description box for the little notes that are underneath each group, because some of those notes may resonate and you may want to choose your pile that way. I think that will be a common thing on the channel moving forward, but I just wanted to add that here because I didn't say it to begin with. And now I will let you meditate. See you soon. Pile 1, welcome to your reading, my dears. So y'all are my lovely sirens. This is something that has recently come up for me, the siren terminology. There are certain artists who I consider to be witches, and I would say most people would agree, like Florence and the Machine, Stevie Nicks. Those are like the main two that come to my brain. I recently like just last week started thinking about artists who I would consider sirens, and they have this more ethereal sound to them, or maybe ambient sound to them. So think like Lana Del Rey, Billie Eilish, Bjork. So although I think Bjork could technically classify as both. And I'm not saying that this is science. This isn't what they claim to be, but this is just how they feel to me. This is how I categorize them in my brain. So there's something kind of ethereal about how you interact with the algorithm. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Whiskey and Rye. I want to say that's actually a restaurant here. Rye is a type of whiskey, I believe. Temperance, that is probably specific to just one person. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into the Temperance card, which talks all about alchemy and creating something completely new from two opposite things. Historically, this would be like the alchemists who were trying to create gold out of different types of metal. An easy reference for today would be how different ingredients come together to really create a meal. In some cases, that's not necessarily every time we cook. Like, for example, a salad, you can still see the different elements that went into the salad. You can still see each ingredient separately. Even though it's creating this new thing. That's not necessarily alchemy. Alchemy would, and I don't know why this is coming through. I'm not even sure if this is true definition, but this is just what I'm getting, okay? Alchemy would require a breakdown of everything that was there before in order to technically be considered alchemy. So this, a better example or food reference would be like making pesto sauce. You know, you use pine nuts, basil, olive oil, salt, maybe some garlic. And then when you blend that up, you really can't see those different ingredients separately. It has become something else entirely. And this is bringing me to a song, Elopei, that I had just made not too long ago. And there's a part where it says, let's become something else altogether. So knowing what I know about that song, you guys are definitely giving some sort of energy of like being channelers. Being able to bring an ethereal quality into your voice somehow. It's almost like a magic trick. It's like you can do something that not a lot of people can do with your voice specifically. This could even, I'm focusing a lot on singing, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. There is this beatboxer who my fiance showed me, and I can't even remember his name, but I will link that video up here just so you guys can see. But when I say his beatbox sounds like something from a freaking keyboard, like it doesn't sound like a voice should be able to do what his voice is able to do. So it's kind of that sort of vibe with you guys, like something about the way you put words together. If you're not a singer, it could be the way you put words together, the way that you put ideas forward, the way that you meld different types of information that don't seem to have one thing to do with the other. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3. You guys have some sort of unique perspective, some sort of unique voice that can just do something entirely different. Four of Cups usually talks about nonchalance because there's like a cup being offered and you're just not interested. I feel like there's something draining on your energy. With you guys showing up as this Temperance card and showing up as this Siren and this ethereal energy, I feel like the algorithm is more than willing to push you The algorithm would be happy to showcase your talent to get you into the right eyes. But there's something draining on your energy to where you're not even thinking about this, maybe. In case you're confused, pile one, my sirens, I do feel like you guys could easily do social media and thrive with it. Whether it's content creation on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, like you need to be on some sort of social media because I feel like it would be advantageous to you. But if you chose this pile, I don't get the sense that you actually I don't get the sense that you're even thinking about that, or it's anything that's ever occurred to you. You guys prefer to be the viewer is kind of what I'm getting with this Four of Cups. It's like, and I'm also getting kind of judgy vibes. Don't shoot the messenger. And if that's really not you, then maybe you chose the wrong pile, or maybe this is for someone you know. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But there is something like, I just got Alexander O'Neal criticized. All you wanna do is criticize. Yeah, like that's the vibe I get. You guys like to be the viewer because you like being able to criticize or applaud. But I'm really getting being critical with this Four of Cups. And so you've never even considered being in the public eye because you know how you are. And you know how critical you are. And the thought of being in the public eye so that, you know, other people can do what you have done to other people is the furthest thing from your mind. You're you're not interested in that at all. And you know, that's cool. Free will being what it is. It's just, this is an interesting thing to consider, is how your judgment of others has affected even your own life. You know, this is this cheesy little saying coming to my mind. When you point one finger at others, you're pointing, people say four, you're really pointing three back at yourself because your thumb is also pointing forward, whatever. That's kind of the vibe. It's like you think you're being funny when you make these jokes about celebrities, or you think you may have this like holier than thou sort of vibe when you're able to judge others. But how is that energy affecting you? Because it is. It's keeping you in this place of playing small because that's safer to you than actually going out and, you know, being the one in the spotlight. Although I do feel like the algorithm would be happy to push you out there, but that's probably also something that you're concerned about. Because, you know, I'm getting so many references. You know, I just got, you know, your tea ain't sweet, or you know your shit stinks too, or basically that's the vibe. Like, you know that you're not perfect either, but you don't want people judging you. And that's perfectly fine. So then we have this Three of Wands at the end, reversed as well. The word glory just came through, and it came through like there's so much glory. There's so much, let's look that up really quick. That's a very specific word, glory. Glory definition. Glory means high honor, great praise, or fame won by doing something very good. It also means great beauty, splendor, or worship given to God. There's so much glory for you in your field, in your like in your auric or energetic field. And as I say that, the battery's about to die. Hold on. The messages are starting to pick up. So I saw 1919 on the camera, which relates to the Sun card. So you guys, and I was kind of feeling it with Temperance, which is weird because Temperance is ruled by Sagittarius, but y'all might also have some Leo in your chart, or fire signs in general, which are Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. You may have those in very high places in your chart because you getting attention doesn't really seem to be difficult. And I'm also picking up that that could also be why you prefer to play small, because it's literally just play for you. Like, you couldn't be small even when you're trying to be out of sight, out of mind. People still notice you, and I think that has been a challenge for you as well. And I'm also picking up that that might be part of why you became so judgmental, because, for example, if you were bullied in school for just like the way you eat or the way you talk or something that you didn't even, bullies pick on everything. So if you were bullied for something like that, you may have in turn started bullying someone else just to get the attention off of you. If you lived in a kind of judgmental household where everybody was talking shit about celebrities, you may have also partaken in that. Partaken? I don't even know if that's a word. You may have partook in that just to get eyes off of you and the candy you were stealing out of your grandma's purse or something like that. It's like this sort of deflection vibe that I'm getting. I'm getting very specifically like you weren't born this way. You weren't born judgmental, but it's something that you learned as a defense mechanism, as a way of getting the eyes off of you. And it's not even that you don't like eyes on you, but I think in your life experience, when eyes have come onto you, it's usually been with bad judgment. People haven't seen your beauty, your light. You have attracted a lot of people who have also deflected their bullshit onto you. I'm getting hurt people. And so this is why you like to play small, because when people do give you attention, it's usually not attention that is for your highest good. It's usually not attention that's loving or positive. It's usually more negative, and more, what's that word? Deflection is the word that keeps coming through. Projection. It's usually more projection and deflection. So with this Three of Wands reversed, Three of Wands talks about horizons. And like I said, when I looked at this card, I got the word glory. And for you guys specifically, only take this as it resonates, right? But I am getting a sense that you would do well in like some sort of spiritual community. I'm obviously getting like church choirs. But if you're not Christian or like of an Abrahamic religion, maybe just finding like a witch circle or somebody who has your same spiritual beliefs, because there's something about taking the attention that you get and putting it back onto spirit. I can resonate with this, although I've never actually thought of it that way. So this is like taking the attention that you get and then giving glory to whatever you believe in, the universe, God, angels, your ancestors, like, but putting a more spiritual spin on your art or on your talent. 3, 4, 5 on the camera. I'm seeing a lot of progressive numbers for you guys. Like, if you've been considering even a little bit that you might need to get into something where you use your voice, whether that's content creation, music, whatever, it's coming through very strongly that that would be a good idea for you. Because there's so much glory to be had there, not just for you, but also for whatever you believe in. Of course, though, like I said, you do have free will. So if you want to keep playing small, feel free. I don't feel like that's what any of you want, though. Even if you weren't looking for a message like this, and especially if you weren't looking for a message like this, and I just happened to come across your timeline, especially you. You don't want to be small. You just want to be safe. And I do get it. But there's a way to have both. And if it's something you really want, you will figure out that way. So that is your message from the algorithm, basically. Stop watching and start creating. Create your own content. Spend less time doom scrolling, because that's also, this Four of Cups reversed is also giving doom scrolling. Like, it just looks like somebody sitting on their bed just like, yeah, stop. You're not meant to be the consumer. You're meant to be the creator. All right, Pile One, my beautiful, lovely sirens. I think that is all I'm seeing for you guys. I certainly hope this message helped and resonated in some sort of way. I look forward to seeing y'all in my next video. But until then, I will see you later, Pile One. Later. Pile 2, my umbrella crew. The first thing that is sticking out to me about your umbrella charm is that it kind of mimics these cups that are upside down. But what's interesting is if I think of it that way, then the water is falling under the umbrella. So like for example, if one of these cups were the umbrella, then the water is falling from under the umbrella instead of on top of the umbrella and falling off the sides to keep you from getting wet. What this is telling me about, what I'm picking up on here, is some sense of trying to self-protect. So I do sense that you guys, like for another pile, the sense was that they were not on social media at all. You guys might be on social media. You may be a content creator. Like, I'm getting varying levels of interaction with social media, but you definitely try to self-protect. The umbrella is almost like something that you use to like try to shield or guard yourself. And that is necessary. It's not that that's not necessary, but something about the way in which you're trying to do it is not in your highest good. Two-faced just came to my mind. So this could be something like, also hypocrite. This could be something like, I don't know, man, like maybe you are one of those content creators who does like video essays. This would be like a content creator who does video essays talking about celebrity problems and celebrity culture, maybe like failed celebrity relationships, while at the same time their relationship life is also horrible. You know, it's something like pointing a finger outward. This kind of ties in as well to another pile. It's kind of like pointing a finger at someone else, even though you're going through the exact same situation. And instead of maybe talking about that celebrity issue with love or understanding, or like finding that middle ground to then expand the conversation, it's you're coming from a place of judgment, and that is literally what's keeping you small, because it could be really helpful for people. And this is kind of getting into the Three of Wands reversed. For people who just immediately judge, and this is the example I'm going to stick with, but you're going to have to find how or where this applies to you. Even something about captions is coming up as well. So for a lot of you, it may not be necessarily what you, like you may not be a content creator or one of those people who does video essays, but maybe you post a lot of pictures on Instagram, and then it's the things you say in the caption that come off a little judgy. And like for you, you might just be repeating a rap lyric or like a lyric from a different song or something, but for the people reading it, it comes off judgy because they don't know what song you're talking about. This is all very specific, but just different examples that I'm getting. Somehow, some way, you're coming off judgy, and it feels like the way that you're coming off judgy is more so the way that you've been taught, not necessarily the way that you think. So kind of going back to that video essay example, if this is what you do and you talk about celebrity culture a lot, people might have a very black or white perspective on what the issue is, like celebrities and their relationships. Just pick one. Pick a celebrity and whatever failed relationship they have, right? people usually feel one way or another, but you might be able to find resonance with that specific situation, and you might be able to see the middle ground and offer another perspective that people haven't heard or haven't talked about, because nobody is actually talking about it from that same perspective as you. I'm seeing 4, 5, 6 on the camera. So the algorithm is wanting you to add something different to the conversation. Not just regurgitate the same thing that everybody else is saying, not just make different jokes or funny jokes that are basically saying the same thing everybody else is saying. It wants you to do something original. This 3 of Wands can really talk about horizons and potential, but reversed, it's like stagnancy. It's like you're kind of just gonna stay here until you do something different. I just got the energy doesn't move unless you do. So if you're actually trying to grow, which I assume you are just based off of the title of this reading, so if you're actually trying to grow and, you know, build your following on social media, do something that feels good at the same time, it's going to require more of you. It's going to require you to not just follow a formula, to not just say something catchy, to not just regurgitate other people's opinions in a different way. It's going to require you to really bring more of yourself to the conversation, because your life experience also matters. And in these situations where you can understand because you've literally gone through it, we're seeing this a lot right now with actually, I don't even want to say that, but there's a specific place where we are seeing more people come out and say, yeah, I went through that too, and I would never go to this person's concert because I went through that. And it's not healthy, and you're not going to gaslight me into saying that. No shade to her, but also for my own peace and my own mental health, I cannot. So you're seeing these conversations happening. I'm now seeing 144 on the camera. And this is basically what the algorithm is wanting of you. Especially with temperance, because you guys, your story kind of started here, so now we're kind of circling back to temperance at the end of your reading, and I'm seeing 707 on the camera. The sevens talk about illusion, and I'm getting that the illusion is the separation, or the separation is the illusion. What the algorithm wants you to know is that you're not so different. And it's not even like trying to make you feel bad for not being unique enough. It's more so about finding a way to find resonance with other people in whatever you do. With people who you think you have nothing in common with that celebrity that you absolutely can't stand. Can you find something that you have in common with them? Can you find something about them that you can kind of understand? Even if you can't excuse it, even if you can't, you know, like, even if you can't, like, you can't get past it, is there a piece of something that you can understand? The term devil's advocate is coming to my brain, which is something that I've been playing with as well, as far as like creating content around some of the most hated figures in social media and celebrity culture, and just trying to like find some nuance, because it's so easy to idolize and then demonize people. But where's the nuance? Where's the gray area? So there is something about being devil's advocate and like adding something different and fresh to the conversations around you that are already happening. If this has nothing to do with celebrities, because I know I spent a lot of time in that example, I'm so sorry. Kind of going back to like, maybe you just post pictures on Instagram. Is there something different you can do with your photos? Especially if you want to grow. It's like, you guys have figured out what works. And I feel like you don't have like the lowest following, but it's kind of stagnated. At this point, it's asking you to do something different. It's asking you to bring more of yourself. The other day, one of my fiance's best friends made a post, and in the caption she was able to add like, she added a symbol, but it wasn't like an emoji. It was like a symbol made by a series of different dots. I need to ask her about that shit. I don't know how the hell she did it. But that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about. Like doing something different in your captions or in your photos, in the way that you take photos, in the places that you are when you take photos. Like doing something different, bringing more of yourself, bringing more of your real life into your social media life. That's another thing that's coming up with temperance, because temperance talks about alchemizing these two different things that seem totally separate in order to create something brand new. For you guys specifically, this is reading to me as going about everyday life the way that you normally do and taking photos in places where you normally wouldn't. So like, let's just say, for me, I'm gonna use a personal example. Y'all know I want to be a content creator full time. Currently I work 2 jobs, and I count YouTube almost as a third one because I'm very consistent. I'm not playing around this time. So if I really want this to be my job, content creation would be the gold that I'm trying to alchemize, right? In order to get that gold, I need to go ahead and create content with what I already have. So this would be me, shoot, I don't know, taking videos or photos at my second job. It seems to be going well so far, actually. I've done it a couple times. So maybe continuing with that. Taking videos or photos while at the gas station. It's a part of everyday life. Like, but maybe there's a certain way I can do it to where it stands out or it says something specific about me. There's something about just needing to bring yourself, more of yourself, to every single space you're in. Bringing more of yourself to social media, but even in your everyday life, bringing more of your social media self to the everyday. And really like intermingling those two. This is a message that I needed too, so I'm so very grateful for y'all's pile. Because I don't know if I would have gotten to this if it weren't for you guys and this umbrella charm. So I just saw 1 2 3 3 turn to 1 2 3 4, which turned to 1 2 3 5. So specifically the 1 2 3 3 and 1 2 3 4. So there's something about, again, that stagnant energy, but then breaking through and allowing it to continue to progress. That's coming through really heavily with you guys, because I also saw 4 5 6 for y'all. So it is progressive. You are on the right track. Even in your worst moments, you're not going backward. You're just standing still. What will allow you to move forward is integration. 1313 on the camera. Really integrating all sides of you and bringing all sides of you to every single space. So in your jobs, if you don't really talk about your social media, you don't really like take photos or videos while you're there, if you can, then do that. Be careful with that. People have gotten fired that way.
Hey baby.
Hey honey.
Recording?
Yes. So, like I was saying, this would be like at your jobs, if you can record or take video or promote, you know, show more of your social media side at your jobs, then do that. Be careful, because people have gotten fired doing that. So, you know, do it if you can, but if you cannot, then do not do that. This could even just be, like I said, when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the gas station, like the everyday things that you do, bringing that social media side out. So this is definitely the energy of carrying that camera around, having no shame about it. Like, do what you gotta do. Sorry, as I said that, I thought about my own camera, and like, I don't have a strap or a handle for it, but I'm gonna need to buy some sort of carrying case or something for it, because that's what keeps me from recording as much as I would like to. Maybe I need to invest in another camera that's specifically for like outdoor vlogging. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But but you know, just finding different ways to bring more of yourself to these different spaces. on your social media side, maybe show more of your mundane life and the things that you do on a daily basis. I feel like I already do that kind of well here, but I'll play around with that and see how I can bring more of the mundane daily life to social media, just so y'all can get to know me a bit more. So I hope it resonated with you guys. Please feel free to let me know. I'm being reminded, because I had kind of forgotten, because my fiance walked through the door. I did end up seeing 1313 on the camera, and 13 is related to the death card, which actually comes right before temperance. Temperance is card 14. Death talks about transformation. And there's something about how, like, this is the way that transformation happens. I'm being brought back to what I got earlier. The separation is the illusion. It's so funny because every time I look at temperance, I come back to let's become something else altogether, which is a line that I have in my song Elopei. I guess I need to link that down below. Or I'll link it up here for you guys, whatever. And then I'm getting Breakdown by Mariah, Carey, and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Or was it all Bone Thugs and Harmony? It might have just been Krayzie Bone. But yeah, it's like there's something that needs to break down, something in your ego and the way that you go about your daily life that you kind of need to break down. You need to kind of break down the lines and the edges between this and that. Again, where you can, because in this economy, the last thing we need to do is lose our jobs, okay? So I do get that, but in the spaces where you can, like maybe on your lunch breaks when you're talking to your coworkers, you could ask like, hey, does it bother you if I take pictures really quick, like, so I can get an outfit of the day? Or, just like, find, like, because that's a natural way of bringing it up so that they can understand that you also do this. You're not just the accountant, you're not just the customer service rep, you also do this. And that could be a way that you make connections. Maybe don't even ask permission, because if you ask permission, then if they say no because they're a bitch, you gotta, respect that or go somewhere else. So maybe just do it. As long as they're not in the photo, just do it. And then they might ask, oh, you're taking photos today? What for? It's really not even about them. It's just about you getting into the habit of showing up as all sides of you and not just what people know you as. Hopefully that makes sense. I am going to, and it's so funny because now I'm being brought back to Umbrella by Rihanna. And specifically how before that song, she kind of just had a bunch of like island bops, like she was known as the island girl, the exotic beauty, but she was definitely, and I say exotic in quotes, but she was definitely like, she had that sound. That was the sound she was repping. She was the girl from Barbados, and we were going to know about it, She had Unfaithful that came out as well before Umbrella, and that one did pretty good, but that one did not do nearly as well as Umbrella. I think Umbrella was the life-changing song for her, and I think in that sense it makes sense with this reading too, because it's like everybody knew her as the island girl, but then she comes out with this song and suddenly she's this pop sensation. It's her clearly it was like her moment of saying, I'm not just this, I can also do this. And that's kind of what I'm getting for you guys. The algorithm wants you to get out of your comfort zone and say, I'm not just this, I can also do this. So hopefully this helps you. Definitely feel free to let me know what these things are for you. Like, you're not just this, but you can also do what? Let me know. I'm curious. I'm nosy now. I feel like that's a good prompt. I'm not just this, but I can also do this. I don't know. I'm liking y'all's pile. I'm getting my own messages over here. In any case, pile 2, Umbrella Crew, thank you so much for tuning in. I definitely look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. But until then, I will see you later, Soul Searchers. Later. Pile 3. I just got Lucky Charm. Interesting. That's not what I was thinking. It's not what I was thinking before, but you guys are the mystery letter, the L, the J. As soon as I started recording for you guys, this fly has just been around, and then I just saw number 33 on the camera. And then the song, or was it a song or a sound? Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Okay, there's a lot happening. Less than a minute into your reading. I feel like this letter charm is a little hard for me to read because it could represent different people in your life. For some reason I'm getting John, Jerry, Larry, Lawrence. I'm getting a lot of male names, interestingly enough. And then the word latch is coming up. You guys may struggle with codependency, which I don't know why I'm getting this from the Three of Wands reverse. We're just going to flow here for a moment. You may struggle with codependency. And this could show up in romantic relationships or even in like your familial relationships. Like you may just feel like you need people, or you may actually need people. Like you might not be, I'm gonna stay away from examples, but you might just feel like you actually need people. Some of you guys may still live in your hometown even if you don't really like it, just because that's where most of your family is. Three of Wands talks about horizons. In the reverse, there doesn't seem to be any. Reverse, there doesn't seem to be a future to look forward to. There doesn't seem to be... This is very doom and gloom energy, you guys. Some of you may be in a dark night of the soul. I do feel like you're walking a very spiritual path, just considering like how easy it is for your messages to come through. I always say pile 3 is my spiritual pile though. Like, whenever in doubt, just choose pile 3. Yeah, no, some of you guys may legit be on a spiritual journey though, or walking a more spiritual path. You just don't, I feel like you don't necessarily take pleasure, or you feel like you don't take pleasure in the same things that a lot of other people do. I just got your deep, like your ego identity. You may feel like you're deeper than most people. That's something to reflect upon and see whether or not that's actually true. Because the more you talk to people, you guys may have to interact with people one-on-one. This might be part of why you feel this way. I know me personally, I do not do well in big social groups if I don't have alcohol. And even with alcohol, it's like I need to like make sure it's not too much, because even that can go wrong. But you guys specifically may interact better with people when it's just one-on-one. 3 tops, like a group of 3 of you tops. But when it's more than 3, I just got 3 as a crowd, but really for you guys, it's more so like 4 as a crowd. Like 4 people or more. Like you might not do well in group chats. There's something about you that just, you might feel very either unseen or misunderstood. I'm being guided to say, with love, pile 3, that some of this is your own doing. Not to say that it doesn't have legitimate roots for why you play small, but you guys, I do just get the sense that you play small with this Three of Wands reversed and also the messages that are coming through. And I can't say I don't get it, right? Because like if all people do is misunderstand you, then why would you want to open up to people? Just consider that it may be the environment you're in. Like those just might not be your people. Just because it's your hometown doesn't mean it's where you're meant to stay. Even if you do branch out and you go different places, like even if you branch out and go different places, maybe you tend to attract the same type of people. Start noticing that, because if you tend to attract basically the same person in a different costume, that really says more about you than about those people. Like, for example, if you tend to attract narcissists or people who project more negativity than positivity onto you, why is that? Like, there's usually signs, and I'm not trying to victim blame or anything, but there's usually signs when those are the types of people that we're attracting. There's usually signs at the very beginning, and then we choose to ignore those signs. So that's something for you to reflect upon. Like, why do you attract people who you feel like you have nothing in common with? Why do you attract people who you feel like only criticize you? Like, I'm being careful with my words because I do feel like there's a level of understanding, like especially from your spiritual team is kind of trying to come through, but especially from spirit, there's a level of understanding as to why you self-protect in the way that you do and whatever that means for you. But there is also a need for you to know that the way in which you self-protect is kind of keeping the cycle going. So pretending you're just like everybody else is going to constantly lead you to feeling like nobody really understands you because you're not actually allowing your true self to be seen, right? So what's coming through, because now we're going to get to the Temperance, is basically integrating all aspects of you. So, for example, if you've always lived in your hometown, maybe instead of making a drastic move across the country, Temperance would be more so like moving a couple of hours away where you can still get to your hometown if need be, but you're also able to get new experiences and meet new people. This is moving from like the small town that you grew up in to the local capital or city of your state, so that you can still get kind of a bigger experience while also still having your family close to you, relatively close, right? This could be little things like if you have a random urge to just try doing something with your hair, something different, try doing that. It'll grow back. I don't know why haircut specifically is what's coming through, but like a specific haircut, maybe even like a different type of hair color that people have never seen. Like maybe you've just been wanting to try pink hair and you don't really see people like you, whatever that means, wearing pink hair. Try it. Who cares? It'll grow back. You can re-dye it. Make sure you just go to a professional. That's all I want to say about that, is make sure you're going to somebody who knows about hair and cares about hair. But other than that, like, do your thing. Temperance is coming through with messages about microdosing adventure. Because I do feel like you're meant to lead a big life. Try Guys also just came up, which I've watched a few of their videos on YouTube, but they're not somebody I follow distinctly, so maybe checking out their YouTube, I will link it up here for you guys. But there's something about being like a try guy and just trying different things. even if you can't move right now, like maybe you can't get a place of your own and you have to stay with your parents, microdose adventure. Try different things in your local community. I don't know. There's just something about branching out. And the more that you branch out and try different things, the easier it will be to branch out even further. What's coming through is adventure is a muscle. And the more that you flex that muscle, the easier it is to pursue adventure. It's so interesting that I can't make out this letter because now Jupiter is coming up. So maybe looking at Jupiter placements in your chart. Jupiter basically is the planet of luck and good fortune. And so specifically, it's one of those apps I'm on. It's either the Pattern or CoStar, but they always say, when in doubt, follow your Jupiter. And my Jupiter is in Sagittarius. So basically, when in doubt, I need to behave like a Sagittarius. And just, Sagittarius is fire. I have no fire. Actually, I do have fire in my chart. It's a very subtle fire, though. But basically, I just need to follow the Sagittarius traits. You know, they are adventurous. They like traveling. They like going to new places. So for you guys, maybe look at your Jupiter, look at the sign that your Jupiter is in, and just see how you can embody the traits of that zodiac sign. I'm a Capricorn sun, so it's a little different from Sagittarius, but but you know, I tend to be able to embody it kind of okay. Sagittarius is also in another part of my chart, so it kind of, I'm able to figure out what's what and embody it to the best of my ability. So that's coming up. You guys may want to try that. Finding where your Jupiter is. I just got where your luck lies. Interesting. This is also coming up, but it's usually better suited for work, but a lot of astrological things are coming up for you. You guys may find a lot of support there. I'm seeing 222 on the camera. But the midheaven, however you say that, that's also coming up. And that usually talks about like the traits that you need to embody for your job or your career, for the thing that you want to do. And so that could be relevant to you as well. Ultimately, though, this Four of Cups is coming with a message of sharing. And it's interesting because you guys are the one pile who this could end up being of assistance for you in like social media, but this isn't even necessarily just a message about social media and how you need to interact with different algorithms. This is really a message, just, it feels like it'll help you regardless, which I guess I could say that for the other piles too, but there's something about just pouring it all out. Pour your heart out. Really expressing more and more and more of yourself, because part of your issue, part of this loneliness that you feel, and I do feel like you feel lonely or misunderstood, misrepresented, part of that feeling is just because you are closing yourself off. And then when you do open yourself up, it's like you're opening yourself up to people who you know you're not really going to have a ton in common with. Maybe like some things in certain aspects, but but not really. This is like being in a small town and then you come across some people who are like more open-minded politically, or they're more open-minded in a way that you don't expect, but then they're still kind of closed off about you being gay. just an example, you come in contact with people who are open-minded in a certain specific way, but then in another way that you exist, they're still closed off. And so you still end up feeling shunned. And I think that's why this message about going somewhere bigger is kind of coming through, because I think wherever you are, something about your hometown just feels limiting. This could even just be like, it may not even be anything to do on a political level. It may just more so be the fact that you're in a small town and people who you grew up with are also still in that same town. And so it's kind of hard for you to pivot and change in the way that you feel called to, because you feel like you owe it to people to be who you've always been. Pile 3, if that is the case, please know that is not true. You can change just like the wind, honey. You do not owe people old versions of you, especially if those old versions no longer resonate. So, take this how you will, apply it how you will, but ultimately you are meant to pour your heart out. You are meant to be expressive. You are meant to be true to... You're meant to be true to whatever's calling you at that time. And if it stops calling you, then you can switch again. You have that right. It is your life. Nobody else is living in your body. People might talk, and that's going to be something that you also have to strengthen. You also have to strengthen that muscle of not giving a fuck. And honestly, the older you get, the easier it gets, because the more that you do this playing small thing, you start to see that it doesn't really matter what you do. People are always going to have an issue anyway, regardless of how small or large you play the game. So you may as well play it as honestly and authentically as you can, to where at least you're happy. You can't guarantee that other people will be happy, but you can at least do everything in your power to make sure that you are happy with yourself. And I'm seeing 707 on the camera, which did come up for another pile. So if you felt called to another pile, this is a sign to choose. I'm not going to say which pile, but some of you guys definitely may want to choose another pile. It's so funny. Y'all know that cheer, be aggressive. Be aggressive. For you guys, the advice from the algorithm is to be expressive. Be expressive. Just express yourself. Express yourself. Express yourself. Anyway, I'm getting kind of goofy now. I was getting emotional at first, but now I'm getting kind of goofy. So literally, you see, just like that, just with the wind. 1 second we crying, the next second we laughing. That's okay. That's my prerogative. That's what I'm feeling, and I'm going to express it. And I want you guys to tap into that very same energy, because it's really going to open up. It's going to flip this reversal, this 3 of Wands reversed, into a 3 of Wands upright, to really allow you to move forward into that grand horizon that is just waiting for you. So, pile 3, I hope this message helped. Oops, sorry, we got too excited. Pile 3, I hope this message helped, resonated, or at the very least entertained you. I definitely look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. But until then, I will see you later, Pile 3.